As was indicated, I'm here to talk about cricket and my time with the ABC as a cricket statistician in South Australia. Are there many cricket fans here?
Just a few.
That's good, because at least you will probably appreciate some of the stories I'm going to tell, and you appear to be at the appropriate age as well to understand some of those people. So what does a cricket statistician do? Well, I basically scored the game for either TV or radio, providing information to the various ball commentator or the expert commentator as was needed, or as I saw fit, or as the commentator wrote little notes to me asking for some information. I also kept this whole series of records. We would have annual books, stat sheets, we would have averages, aggregates, whatever, that the commentators would avail themselves of when we needed to check something up, or inevitably, perhaps on a slow day, they might want to know what were the scores in a particular game, so they could talk about it. Inevitably, the commentator would talk about something that involved himself, which is fairly normal. So it was all very good. Now, back in the 80s, it was very different to what it is now. You actually had Test cricket on the ABC TV. You even had Shield cricket on ABC radio and TV at various times during the day, which is now very rare. You very rarely hear cricket commentary on the radio like it used to be 20 odd years ago. As the scorer, I'm not sitting there with a normal scorebook. I used to have what we call a running sheet, which is basically an A4 sheet, which would break the over down into various bits and pieces as you went along. So you would note on this running sheet various details about when the batsman played and missed, what part of the field he hit the ball to. We would divide the field up into 9 sections, and we would note where the ball was played. Now that probably seems pretty useless, why would you bother? But it was about trying to picture where the player and where the bowler was putting the ball. So if he was hitting it in front of point, I'd be able to say that, look, he's hit the ball in front of point, 12 times out of the last 20 balls he's faced from XYZ, the bowler. And that was all about giving the commentator the opportunity to talk about what's happening in the game. Whilst I'm in the commentary box, there generally is 3 positions. There's the scorer statistician, the ball-by-ball commentator, and then there's the expert. So sometimes, because they're on air, they don't ask you for information. They'll either write you a note, or you'll know from experience what they're angling towards. So, for example, a player may be talking about how many times a batsman's played and missed. I'll go down on my little sheet and count up for the last 3 or 4 overs, and then pass him a note, and he would sound very knowledgeable on the radio. So my job was to make the commentators look good. They did offer me at one stage to give them my own mic, but I said no, that probably wasn't really the case, and we already had 2 of them there anyway, so the 3rd one would just be way too much. Also have a bit of a stutter, so that wouldn't have really worked. Now, as the cricket statistician, I've worked for a couple of unusual organisations. I worked for 2UE during the World Cup in 91-92 here in Australia. That came out of the blue because I had finished with the ABC because I had concentrated on my accounting career. I also worked for Pakistan Radio, which was a very interesting event because they did 20 minutes in English and then they did 20 minutes in Urdu. Now, I don't think there's probably anyone in this room who speaks Urdu, and neither do I. So it was about falling back on your experiences and just giving them scores and various 50 times that you would give your commentators as if you were doing it normally. Pakistan Radio forgot to pay me as well for my efforts, which is perhaps not